Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Health After 30 podcast. Today, I am joined with Ariel, and we are talking about natural skincare. Ariel, thank you so much for being here.
Yes, of course. I'm excited. Thank you for having me.
So, natural skincare, it's a massive, massive topic. I feel like the more people are aware, the more it grows. It is a massive interest of yours and also mine.
Mhm.
Can you tell us a bit about how you ended up in this whole entire industry? What brought you here?
Yes. Yes. So, for many years, I suffered with red, irritated skin that would sting every time I washed it. That was that full of acne. Um, and I could not find a product that would help me or work, even no matter how much money I spent. Or no matter how much it said it would help, and it's for sensitive skin. And then I became pregnant, and it was during COVID, so I was home a lot, and I just started really getting into non-toxic
Mm.
products and learning about the non-toxic life and living, which I was not aware of. That was that it was even a choice. So I, throughout the years of learning about that, I started learning about hidden ingredients. And then I started learning about just how everything really affects your skin, your overall health. And that's how I really built my own company because of the lack of transparency from all the other companies. And also, so I can be a brand that people can go to that know that we are looking out for them and really truly able to help their skin. So that's how I got into it.
Yeah, that's really, really beautiful. And it's almost like a way to kind of pave away from the traditional skincare, which I feel it sometimes does do the trick. In your case, it didn't do the trick, but sometimes I feel like it does the trick. But then you kind of turn over to see what's in there, and you're like, what is all of
Hmm.
this? And
Hmm.
I mean, it's a really fine line. And I feel like it kind of aligns a little bit with the pharmaceutical industry because it's like it does the trick. It's like a quick thing that will do the trick, but in the long term, is it going to be beneficial for us?
Yeah,
So,
and all the side effects.
and all the side effects.
Hmm.
So, what was the biggest thing for you which maybe started sounding the alarms?
Was the hidden ingredients is what started sounding the alarms. So
Mm.
when I learned that FDA allows what they call incidental ingredients in our
Hmm.
skincare and in our food products, that's when I was like, wait a minute. So incidental ingredients are within the natural skincare industry, and that's when you see ingredients such as extracts. And we
Hmm.
all love extracts or essential oils, but it does not tell you how it was extracted. So a lot are extracted using hexane or acetone, and those leave a residue behind within the final product. And so we're not knowing that this is left behind and also causing some irritation to the skin. There have been some published studies that show that there is irritation being caused. And so I think that we should be able to choose, they should be able to tell us this was extracted using this so that we can choose if we want to use that. Um, that for my company, we just use cold pressed. That's cold pressed everything, because we're not going to have any leftover residue. CO2 extraction is much better because
Yeah.
the gas, it completely dissipates, it goes away. So that's what really was made me scared to buy was the
Yeah.
hidden ingredients.
And also because you don't actively choose what's going on your skin because you're not even told that it's in there.
Right. Yeah,
So
exactly.
if someone is reacting to a product, for example, yourself, if you're getting, if you're using a product which is promising this, that, and the other, but you're actually getting a reaction or it's not working, or, maybe it's
Hmm.
aggravating a condition,
Hmm.
should we start to look at perhaps, yeah, I mean, what's in it, and then also
Hmm.
changing it. But the thing with these, what were they called? Incidental ingredients. Does a skincare product need to use these incidental processes to have these incidental ingredients?
Depends how it was sourced. So that's where the brand has to be careful. That's where they need to take responsibility and source it correctly. You can source it for cheaper and have the alcohol extracts, or you can source it for more expensive methods and not have that residue left behind. So that's where the line is kind of,
Yeah.
how is that brand sourcing? And
Yeah.
are they asking the manufacturer the hard questions as well? So when I'm sourcing, I ask them directly what is being used and are there fillers that, because sourcing, they also sometimes aren't disclosing to the company. So they need to call and, ask directly. And some of them will say, I'm not sure, I don't know. Well, I can't purchase from you. Yeah. So
Yeah.
they're, and that's because they're also sourcing from a cheaper source. It's just it's like a snowball effect. So we really, as brands, we really have to be more careful and ask those questions instead of just purchasing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
Like take the responsibility because I feel like the person that consumes at the end, we also put so much trust
Hmm.
into brands.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, as you even said, even a brand with a really good intention of having pure ingredients, if their
Hmm.
manufacturer isn't disclosing certain things to them, then they're also completely
Yes.
unaware.
Yeah, and that goes, like you said, consumers are trusting brands, and that goes along with the way they're marketing as well. So if they're marketing like this is our hero ingredient, but then when you look on the label, if it's at the bottom, then you know that brand is just marketing to you that that ingredient is not going to provide any real benefits. It's at the very bottom, which means there's very little amount in there, which they're
Yeah.
saving money to putting it down there. So,
Let's
yeah.
talk about ingredient lists, shall we? Because when we look at, when we turn around the bottle, like I know at the end, that's the smallest part that you're getting,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? So when you're looking at an ingredient, what would you generally call a good skincare product? Is it something that has as little as possible ingredients, or are we looking for certain ingredients, or are we looking for definite no-goes? What are we looking at when we flip around our shampoo,
Mhm.
our face creams, our toners? What are we looking
Well,
for?
first, I like to go for the ones that are saying they're natural. I like to just avoid the synthetics, of course. So when you are looking at an all-natural label, you do want to see the xanth. So a lot of them use xanthan gum.
Mm-hmm.
You'll want to avoid xanthan gum. It is full of chemicals. They use it because it is derived from a
Hmm.
natural product, but to create it, it has at least 5 different chemicals mixed in there to create it, and that is then causing issues. So anything that says xanthan gum, I stay away from. When you see, which you're
That's
going to see a
everywhere.
lot,
That's
yes,
everywhere.
I know,
Is it my
I know.
toothpaste? I feel like it also
It's
might be
so
my toothpaste.
Oh yeah, it's in your toothpaste for sure. I know, I know it
Yes.
is. Um, and then this is a shock to a lot of people, is glycerin. So
Mm.
glycerin, yes, if you see glycerin in your top 3 ingredients, I just do not use it. Glycerin suffocates the skin. It is completely, it also, so it's known to provide moisture because it grabs moisture out of the air, but it's also grabbing moisture from deep within your skin, and it's pulling and it's dehydrating your skin. So, and after a while, you'll notice your skin is red. It starts to become red, and that's from the suffocation of it. And
I feel like some
so
people are
glycerin,
hyping glycerin. I feel some places it's like, oh, we use
right?
glycerin. Like
Yes,
it's
and that's because it is
superhero.
told, right? It is, and that's because it's told to everyone that it's a moisturizing effect. It, provides
Mm.
moisture. It does provide only on the top layer. It's not penetrating. It's not giving your skin moisture. It is taking from out, the out environment and from within your skin to the layer.
Mm.
So now not only it's packing up there, but now you're going to start clogging your pores if there's some oils building up and everything. So it
And
is
clogged pores are leading straight to acne, right? Like
to acne. Yeah.
that's the typical I've got clogged pores and now I have acne.
Hmm.
So glycerin,
Simply
no go.
because, yeah, there's too much glycerin in there if it's the top three.
Hmm.
So I just completely avoid glycerin. But if it's the top three, but it's hard to. It's in almost everything. So that's why I always say the top three. Yeah. And then if you see water at the very top, it's watered down. I always try to stay under 15 ingredients. That still sounds a lot, but when you turn your bottle around, you'll see there's probably 30. Try to stay under 15. The less, the better. We stay, well, for instance, our face oil is just 5 ingredients and that's it. Because you really want to get those benefits from each ingredient.
5 ingredients, I love that. That's actually what I do for food as well. If I'm buying packaged food, or I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
maybe pesto in a jar or something, I look around and it's like, okay, how many ingredients? Five or less. It's like the magic number, which kind of keeps the
That's
quality of the
great.
ingredients higher. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, that's important for what we're putting in our bodies for our skin
Mm,
too.
yeah. If you're like most people who tune into the Health After 30 podcast, you know that good health and quality of life go hand in hand. It's beyond our lifespan, but rather our health span that we need to focus on. Aging naturally, longevity, getting into old age, and keeping up with the things that we love should be a priority. Please meet Kimberly Vyvlecka. She's a naturopathic doctor who uses peptide bioregulators as well as a longevity protocol to help enhance energy, get that mental clarity, good, and balance your hormones into old age. Please follow any of the links below to get in touch with her and don't miss a chance to work with her today.
Oh,
Yes.
all the
Yeah,
sugar.
we chatted just off air before how yeah, for me, skin is such an important topic. And, for me, when I think about nutrition, I always like to say, if you draw a line from your hand up your arm to your face, like your skin and your gut, they're literally connected. Your gut, well, like your gut lining, your micro,
Mm-hmm.
it starts here, um, mucosal, lining, and it starts and it goes down. So it's all so
Yeah.
connected. And this is why I
Mm-hmm.
love skincare so much as well, because I feel like you can do so much from the inside. But then there's things that
Mm-hmm.
change in life, like hormonal changes throughout, our
Mm-hmm.
cycle of the month, or our perhaps, as we age, our hormones are changing our skin texture. And even I start to see it in my own skin now. Like and now it's coming into winter here, it starts to change, and the way I need to look after it starts to be just a bit more intensive. So can we perhaps chat on how
Mm-hmm.
the skin changes? Let's maybe talk about how it
Mm-hmm.
changes when we age and how we can look after it. And then maybe I'll ask a little bit about the
Yeah.
seasonal stuff as well.
Yes. So, as you mentioned, our hormones are changing and our skin is changing, and that's our filaggrin, which is a protein within our skin, responsible for moisturizing the skin naturally. It's producing less, along with our collagen is producing less. So everything is kind of going down on us, and while our hormones are
Mm.
going all crazy. So, the best way to really help with that is eating healthy, as you know, to choosing products that are known to enhance your skin's natural abilities rather than just putting on products that say it brightens or that it reduces fine
Anti-wrinkle.
lines.
Hmm.
Because, yeah, anti-wrinkles because those are causing more stress to your skin's natural proteins and your skin's natural cells because it's now it's too much on top of your skin when really you can be enhancing them naturally, enhancing their powers basically.
Mm.
So you'll want to look for products that say enhancing rather than that it just takes care of the problem itself for
Mm-hmm.
the skin.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing as well for the hormones to balance a little bit more is completely staying away from fragrances.
Oh,
So
why is that?
fragrances, yes, to create one fragrance, it requires a minimum of 200 chemicals. And only out of those 200 chemicals, only 3% of all the chemicals made to create a fragrance are tested for safety. So we don't even know what most of them can do or are doing. And that's why many studies have proven that they cause hormone imbalances within us. And I mean, it's just fragrance is the number one thing we should all stay away from.
But fragrances are
Yes.
everywhere. Would you also call perfume a fragrance as well? Because sometimes you see perfume
Yes.
on the ingredient. That's
Oh
also a
gosh.
fragrance.
Yes, and that is multiple fragrances put together. So that has way more than 200 chemicals. There are new fragrances out there as well because of this, because of all the studies about it. There are new fragrances that are completely natural. So even though they might have some of the residue left over, but if you're looking for a fragrance, do the research to find the ones that are natural fragrances
Yeah, but if
instead
it's
of the
new on
synthetic
the
type.
Okay, if it's a new thing, it's going to take a long time before it starts to really get into the whole industry. And fragrances, I mean, that when people are putting something on their face and their hair, like
You like to
they
smell
kind of want to
it.
smell, yeah, they want to
That's
smell
right.
like flowers.
That's right.
They don't
No.
just, I mean, yeah.
That's right. I know. And I mean, my brand will not, we don't have any fragrance. Our, like everything in every product, you can't really smell it. It's all fragrance free. There's no smell to it. And it's because we're just here to heal, not to really provide the smell.
Added,
Yeah.
the added
So,
luxuries.
yeah. So that is, I mean, I have an aunt that loves fragrance. Everything has to be fragrance, from her soaps to her hand soaps to her, her clothes, everything. And I'm always telling her, like, you shouldn't do that. And
Yeah.
and there's a big, hormonal imbalance there for
Yeah.
everybody who's using fragrances.
Yeah, it's one of the many, endocrine distributors that it's affecting their hormones along with plastic bottles, our fragrances. So it's so important to kind of look into every aspect of our life and just reduce as much as possible, because it's not just the skincare and it's not just the food. But when you add the skincare and the food and the water and the air, like it just kind of all adds up. And then the clothes we wear and the chemical and the things we use in the clothes as well.
Yeah. I mean, when you bring up clothes, the one item that I just plead everybody to change is their socks. So I know it's very simple, but our socks, when we're putting them in our shoes, they get real hot, real sweaty. And it has many times have proven that synthetic socks releases chemicals into our feet, into our bodies, and they're causing disruptions within our bodies. So if you can wear 100% cotton socks, that right there is going to just help just a little bit. An easy step to take.
That's a wonderful
changing
tip.
those socks.
I've literally never thought about that. Because a lot of the socks, because they need the stretch factor, or what, they're usually not 100% cotton, and you can't wear wool socks all year round.
Right.
That's another thing.
Yeah. Quinn, I think it's called Quinn online. They sell 100% socks, 100% cotton socks. They're very comfortable, very soft, and so they're great. But at around, I think it's 95 degrees is when synthetic clothing begins to leach onto our skin.
And when you're
and our feet get way hotter than that. Yeah.
They do, and they're used all day, every day. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a massive advocate of holistic health. That's basically the foundation of this entire podcast as well. And so, yeah, it's a huge thing. But let's go back to skincare, because this is a large part. Annie Leonard has a really nice, you've probably seen it. It's a very old YouTube video, and she's, talking about cosmetics and how many cosmetics we use each day. Whether, I mean, not even if you're using makeup, this is just from brushing our teeth to our hair to then putting things in our skin, deodorant. And it's all kind of, it's a massive reason to start switching to natural.
Yes. Yeah, they also use an ingredient called quaternium 15. synthetic skincare products and even baby products. And that is used as a preservative because it slowly releases formaldehyde.
Mm.
And yes, and so this is, and you can Google which products contain it, and it'll provide a list for you to help you be aware.
So this is another potential harmful ingredient that we need to be looking out for. What is it called?
Oh yes, Quaternium 15.
Quaternium 15.
Yes,
Okay.
Quaternium and then dash 15. So this is, Johnson & Johnson's baby products have it, and many lotions that are on the market. So yeah, they're
like
pretty
Johnson & Johnson is just, I don't know.
But it's widely used for all the babies, and so it's just so sad.
It is. I mean, their baby
Yeah.
oil. It's a home brand that I've also seen in my family since I was a young child.
Mine too.
And also their talcum powder as well.
Yeah. Yes. So just being aware of that. And then for cosmetic wise, when we're using lipstick that is red, for instance, or even foods that are red, that redness is usually coming from an ingredient called carmine. And carmine is a parasitic that is boiled in ammonia and then put into our product. So the parasitic part, fine, but the ammonia is really what gets me, that they don't tell us, like, okay, carmine plus ammonia, or, carmine made with ammonia, so that we can make our choices, but it's just put on there as carmine. It's also, if you Google carmine, it'll tell you all the different names. It'll be listed on labels. But yes.
Oh, because guys, it's under several different names, so it's not even
4 different names. Yeah. There's different ones, yeah. So carmine, and then carmine is also used, those plastic cups that have food in it, fruit, and then to make that fruit a little bit more orange, they have to add borax to the carmine, which is on top of the ammonia as well, to make that orange color. So back to the cosmetic part though. So it is mostly in lipsticks. So you'll want to read your lipstick. A lot of people don't read lipstick ingredients, I found.
No.
They just want to know the color looks good, but
I think also with lipsticks, it's like something that perhaps, some people do use it every day, but it's also something that you're actually ingesting. When we think about our skin, of course, we absorb it. With our lipstick, it's literally going in.
Yes, I'm glad you said that. Yes, and it's so it is something that we should look into, and that's why also I will bring up my lip gloss when you said that, because I was like, it goes into our mouth. So I did for the lip gloss, it is I added some nutrients to it, some omegas, so that when it is going in the mouth, it's at least helping us a little.
Yeah. Nice.
So yeah.
And it's also like giving a nice moisture effect on the lips as well.
Yes. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Ariel, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. That was fun.
The information provided in the Health After 30 podcast is for general information purposes only and should not be considered as medical advice. It's not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or health condition. Always consult with your qualified healthcare professional before making any decisions related to your health or before starting a new treatment or health regime. Thanks so much for being here. You could have been listening to anything, but you're here interested in reclaiming your health. I hope you found the episode useful and constructive. If you enjoyed it and would like to show support for the show, please leave a review, as this makes my content more discoverable for other people to enjoy and learn from. Please also consider subscribing to the show on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you enjoy listening. Finally, the best way to show support for the show is by sharing it with someone who you think might benefit from it. Thanks for listening, be well, and I'll catch you next time.